Hey, what is up, you guys? It's Twinless Twin, and today we are back with the second half of this league. We started off really strong, and let's get right into the gameplay. Alright, so this hand has Failure plus Riddler with a Subtlety backup. This is a great hand. We're able to interact with our opponents, Subtlety Pitch Frog. We're able to get Failure down and then try to blink a Riddler. Potentially even an Overlord. We're just missing black mana right now. So feel really good about this hand. We'll start things off with the Specimen tapped. And Prowess has really picked up the last couple of weeks. I think that people rediscovered it's a really good deck into this metagame. Positive matchup versus Belcher is a really big deal. Why? Also, positive matchup versus Energy, in my opinion. Pretty even matchup against Goryo's. And I think that our deck is going to have to adapt to this rise in prowess because, as is, our list does have a little bit more trouble than a traditional list without that solitude plan. We can't answer their resolved creatures, which puts us in a pretty difficult position. Plot is exactly what I want to see. As a prowess player, you need to be really careful of Felia, right? First of all, you might not have the bolts, so sometimes you have no moves, but it can turn a game that was, very, very winnable into really, really bad. Because look, without this Felia, my hand does pretty much nothing, but now my hand has become much, much better, being able to blink out this Riddler and now have a 4/6 on defense. Alright, and there's not really a great reason to play this untapped. Every life point does matter. We could bluff with it, but I don't really see... I don't know if there's enough value there, because the 2 life can matter as well. You can see we're getting ready for Cubs Game 5, baby. Let's take down the Milwaukee Brewers. Very exciting stuff today. Corey Steel Cutter to start the turn. We don't have Fawn, so that's going to resolve. I'll definitely Subtlety this Slick Shot show off. And this Riddler will play very good defense for us this turn at least. Okay, they have a land, so they can definitely attack into the Riddler. We have no choice but to block. In my, we do have a choice. So Flicker Wisp can bounce this Monk token, so that's definitely the block would be on Swift Spear. I think that's fine. If we force them to spend like a Mutagenic Growth plus a Bolt, or even just a Bolt, it's totally fine. At least we got to keep our Overlord around too. So let's Flicker Wisp out this Monk token, and then when we attack with Failure, we can also flicker our Flicker Wisp and phase out either a land. We have to decide if it's going to be... should it be a land? Or should it just be getting this Corey Steel Cutter? I think it's the Corey Steel Cutter. We don't want to give them another Monk for free. So let's just get that out of here for a turn. Flicker was pretty fragile against the Prowess deck because of Lava Dart, but... I think it's worth fawning this. I'm not valuing the Frog very highly. If we draw a black source, we're just playing Overlord and blinking it. The nice thing is Felia now with 2 counters is going to be hard for them to remove. So we can count on attacking with Felia pretty much the rest of this game. And they're actually in a very defensive position here where we're going to be attacking them for 8, potentially. Okay, and we drew the black source, which is exactly what we wanted. Let's just start by plotting. And And, okay. I think we're getting back... Well, we could get back Riddler to start. And see what we draw. Okay, Fawn. That's good. We want to put them to 1. And then I think now we want to guarantee ourselves a blue card. So blinking the Overlord is better than blinking the Riddler. Even though the Riddler can block Slickshot Show Off, we know that we're able to, you know, subtlety the Slickshot Show Off if we get Overlord. If we get Riddler, we're drawing a random card, which could be a brick. But this way, we're guaranteeing ourselves to pick up subtlety. So we should be in good shape. I think even taking the Riddler in the first place was probably a mistake. Just double Overlord. Overlord getting us two blue cards, one of them being subtlety, was probably the safe play. But because I think we really just wanted to have subtlety up to guarantee us this win. The force of negation wasn't that important. Okay, so we get Oust. We don't really have great sideboard options for this matchup either. Like, Wrath Disguise is fine, but it's really not that good. You really want Wrath Disguise when you're paying 0 energy. And against energy, you need to pay 1 or 2 energy, which makes it more like a 4-drop like Wrath of God, which is fine, but not really exactly where you want to be in this matchup. Teferi's pretty weak because you're just going to bounce something with haste and then they're going to replay it and kill Teferi. I mean, it can buy you some time, but I actually think I'd rather have these Thought Seizes. Anything else? I don't mind a couple consigns. They work with Thalia as a trick to phase stuff out. They could work with Riddler to scam. And I don't really see anything else I want here. All right, this hand's interesting. Obviously, it needs a land. But otherwise, it's pretty strong. We have 24 mana sources. I think it's a keep. The deck does mulligan well, but only in certain matchups. And in this matchup, like, having Fatal Push is huge for us. Okay, well, that's not good. I think we need a Thought Seize here, and then the plan is if we can actually... If we can strand them with just the Swift Spear, maybe that goes well for us. So I think we have to take this Swift Spear away, and then maybe we Force of Negation, pitching Psychic Frog on the Preordain to try to stop them from finding a new threat. Did they just draw a Slick Shot? Or no, they're just casting Preordain. Nope, they drew another threat. Alright. That is too bad. So, I do think we're probably supposed to fawn here. They put it on top, which makes me less excited to fawn, but what's going to be crucial here is just denying Delirium, 1, and also trying to limit the amount of spells they can cast. Okay. Gross. I don't know what we can do here. Probably play this tapped and have to Fatal Push. Playing Felia and then Riddler is going to be too slow without slowing them down first. Do we want to Fatal Push this DRC now? Well, maybe we can make them go somewhat like all in on the DRC. I don't know. Let's see what they do. Iteration. Okay. Well, That's kind of the nuts. After we got rid of their preordained to take away their card flow. They put a card on top, huh? Gross. So we know these two are their last two. At the very worst, at the very best, if this is like lands, which it's not because they put a card on top, we're taking one. If we like fatal push the DRC now, we're taking 1, 2, down to 10, down to 6. Okay. I think we're going to have to end up hitting the Monastery Source Spear here. Well, let's see how much damage they actually push across. Lightning Bolt to exile. So it's the same amount of damage, but then in future turns, the Swift Spear represents more. But the DRC surveils are so valuable. I don't know if we mess this up. Maybe I should have just killed the DRC last turn. I was really afraid they might hit us with a flurry of spells, but obviously we've just given them a lot of value with the DRC. I do think the Swiss, I don't know. That's tough. It's really tough that they drew another creature right off that. Alright, I mean, we have to pass, but we're not going to be able to get there now at this point. Maybe our hammer's just a mulligan. Okay. Yeah, we're dead. Alright. Back on the play, where we want to be in this matchup, but this 5-land hand is not where we want to be. We're looking for some type of synergy. I can get behind this. Fatal Push plus Overlord seems quite good. So let's see. We'll fetch a Surveil. We don't need a second. We could even end up fetching the Swamp straight up. And they mulk down to 5. That is the type of thing we need in this matchup. Down to 4. Wow. Fortune has smiled upon us. And failure on top is going to potentially blow this game wide open. Okay, they have the Steel Cutter plus Mishra's Bauble. That's kind of their way to get into this game. Steel Cutter giving them multiple threats. Should we block? Should we block? No, don't block here. We get a lot of value from this failure right away. Okay, well, we missed on the Overlord. That's too bad. Failure could also blink the monks on future turns. I'm going to hold on to this specimen because if we hit Subtlety, I'd like to have the blue card. Wow, we missed again. Okay. I guess that's just mill 8 and have a 5/5. I mean, this could go poorly for us. Luckily, they're on a mull to 4, so our misfortune might not be as great as theirs. Double steel cutter. All right, now I'm scared, guys. We could lose this game. They shouldn't have mutagenic in against us, I don't think, so I can call if they're attacking. Like, I'll be blocking. Their hand has really, really, truly been, like, perfect. I think moving the cutter might have been a mistake there. Well, okay, they're just willing to ship it in. Because if they found, like, a bauble, they could have pushed more damage by making one of their guys a 5. I think we'll get the... I think we'll get the Riddler here. I'm not actually afraid of any specific creature they might have, because I have Fatal Push for Slick Shot, which is really the scariest creature. I'm planning on fawning any, like, cantrip they would play, and then next turn I'll play Riddler and blink it out to get a ton of value. A third Steel Cutter? You've got to be kidding me. I think we do have to fawn that. I would think about potentially trying to, like, I'd prefer to fawn a Preordain or something, but the Steel Cutter itself is probably just a must fawn as well. If they do have something like Preordain here, that's a bit of a disaster for us. Okay, this is actually perfect. Even the fact that they decided to go ahead and bolt our Failure instead of our face, because we have another Failure in hand that was just doing nothing, and now we're going to be able to Fatal Push one of their creatures and deploy a new Failure, and then blink Riddler. If our Wi-Fi router doesn't crash. If you're wondering what cuisine I'm having, it's a Cuban chicken bowl from Trader Joe's. Absolute gas. Uh-oh. My connection has failed. We're back. I'm going to edit out that, but my internet crashed, and we had a quick, quick intermission. Oh, we just have lethal, though. Yep, there's my Failure. Lethal. That's 7. Alright, let's go ahead and hop into the next match. Well on our way to another 5-0. Look at that. There's Pygonti, fellow Merc Guide co-host, leading the leaderboard, or second on the leaderboard, with 6 trophies. This might be a trophy hunt season for Pygonti. He's in the race. He's been grinding. If you want to check out content by me and him, check out the Merc Guides Metify. Gotta make a plug here. Pay the bills. But yeah, we make strategy articles. We release lots of videos. We have a Discord channel that is great discussion around decks like Blue-Black Blink, like Psychic Frog, like Blue-Red Prowess. And it's a great time. So definitely check it out. You can see it down below. Subscriptions as cheap as $14, so not too shabby. And it's definitely worth it if you're looking to improve as a Magic player. Alright, here we go. I think this has to be a mulligan. We can't cast any of our spells, so that's not good. This hand, on the other hand, is definitely a keep. We can cast spells. See how that works? Let's put back to Fairy to start. It's always good to have. I guess we'll plan to mix in a Surveil land here. Black-white Surveil land into Shocking the Specimen. Always when you're playing a deck like this, you want to have Surveils as much as possible because these decks are really, in a sense, a combo deck because you're looking to assemble certain pieces. And we're playing against Affinity, so that's good to know. I'm going to bin that Specimen. What that does is it guarantees a hit for the Overlord down the line. Okay, and I'll hold on to this Specimen because now it's a card we can pitch and potentially still use Consign to Memory as well for some value. Against Affinity, Consign has some good value targets. I mean, you can hit Mox Opal is a great one. Takes away effectively 2 mana. Mox Opal's like 2 mana in the Affinity decks because it counts for Affinity and it makes mana. It's super busted for their explosiveness. Without Mox Opal, the deck gets a lot slower. We have Springleaf Drum as well, but here I'm going to prioritize my own development, Thalia into Overlord, but I would Subtlety Pinnacle Emissary for sure. Shoot. I should have flashed in Thalia in response to that. That was a big mistake. Because now they just have Metallic Rebuke up, which is what they were pretty clearly representing from the start. Yeah, not happy about that. There wasn't... I don't think there's really a reason against Affinity to hold it. Like, it's pretty... Yep. I mean, I guess this is actually kind of good bait, right? Because now we get to Overlord back the Thalia, and we'll get to do it again soon. Unless we want to just play Psychic Frog, which we might. Psychic Frog plus Specimen Shock could be the move, and then we can consign their Urza Saga. Chapter 2. Yeah, I don't see any reason to rush the Overlord out when we know we're not going to be able to flip it next turn. But for example, now if like we draw a white source off of our draw step plus the frog hit next turn, we can play Overlord, get back Thalia, and flash in Thalia on their end step. Oh, I did let them go to Chapter 2, which maybe I shouldn't have. Yeah, probably consigning Chapter 2 was the way to go there. Whoops. I'm keeping it loose. Alright, let's see if they make a mistake here and try to go to block. But then we could potentially punish them with Teferi. Like, they don't really need to make this construct here because they know we could jump our frog. Let's see. Okay, they figured that out. Now, on the bright side, we don't have to jump our frog. So we get to keep the cards in our graveyard, but we miss out on that opportunity to kind of punish them with Teferi there. We could bounce the Saga, or we could just wait on doing that and play Overlord this turn. Wow, okay. They decide to do that. I wonder if now we're supposed to discard Subtlety? I don't think so. If this whiffs, it's disappointing, but not the end of the world. The question is how valuable would be the counter? How valuable is the counter on Psychic Frog? I guess it could be a little bit valuable. But I don't want to be forced into getting back the subtlety if we hit something else. I think we'll just let it ride. Okay, we got back a Riddler. I'll take that. Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, this Overlord's probably not coming off suspend this game. But it could. I mean, the construct plan is pretty slow. It's basically all of their mana 2 turns in a row. I'm going to consign this Chapter 3 trigger. I don't want them to get Mox Opal and accelerate their draws. They could get something else that's also a problem. So I think just overall, it's worth trading the consign for that in this spot. Okay, I think let's just... we ditch Teferi in this spot. And we plan to, like, Riddler plus Fatal Push next turn. Draw a bunch of cards, especially because we have Psychic Frog in play. So the reason that I did that subtlety was because of these constructs. I don't want to let them get out of control. And so now they're forced to commit, they're forced to decide, like, am I going to play out my zeros? I don't know how many zeros they had, but if they had Mox Opal, things could have really gotten out of control there. So I took the safe line. I think really I messed up not consigning there, Chapter 2, but... Let's Fatal Push one of these and Riddler to draw 2. Okay, neither of these are really cards that I want right now. I mean, I did want another blue card for Force Negation, so I guess I'm kind of banking on drawing one, which is a little bit risky. Maybe I should have kept it, but then I lose out on the next draw too of Quantum Riddler. Okay, and we end up getting rewarded with double subtlety. I think around half of our deck is blue, so... See if I can verify that. How risky of a play was this? I mean, you should probably know that if you're playing this deck. So that's 17 plus 19. Okay, so about 24. Pretty close to half. I mean, a little bit under half. So if you draw 2, you should find a blue card, generally speaking, but it's not a lock. It's not a lock. You're probably like 70, 80%. Okay, I'll let Springleaf Drum resolve. At this point, I think we can kind of shift to they have four lands in play, so we should probably shift to denying their payoffs and time walking them that way. The fact that they didn't attack with Memnite is really suspicious. I guess we're supposed to exile 3 cards again. I don't think we want to discard. I mean, the thing is, we do need to win the race, but also, I really like all the cards in my hand. If we hit like a land, we can hard cast subtleties to start trying to trade. Yeah, I think we're fine. Oh, they might have Otawara. Is that what they were holding up? That would make a lot of sense. Oh, sink into super. All right, I'm willing to fawn that. Counting on the subtlety to protect me from most of their payoffs next turn. Okay, Thalia's not bad. I guess that's. I wish I didn't have to tap out for fawn, but. Okay, well, we can actually consign a Mishra's Bubble trigger to deny them a new card. Thoughtcast. We needed it to not be Thoughtcast specifically. I don't know any of the creatures, and we could have punished it, but Boots. All right, well, this puts us in a pretty dicey spot. Yeah, now they're attacking. And the awkward thing is that we actually are dead to either of these now with the Boots. Now, the good news is we can play some defense here. Let's deny them a card. I might want to discard that to Frog at this point. I probably do. I think the plan is to try to block. I guess, I mean, I don't know how many Metallic Rebukes they play, but maybe we're supposed to just flash the Thalia now so it's face up. The problem is they might actually make worse attacks without the Thalia face up. What are they? They're probably going to move this over and attack with both. Man, if they draw Metallic Rebuke, it's such a punish, but I think there actually is some value here in not showing them, because if they just draw like a blank and then they move the Boots over, or if they draw any creature and move the Boots over, we subtlety the creature. It's funny to me they bobbled me, right? When they could have bobbled themselves and done the fetch land trick. They drew Thoughtcast again. You're kidding me. EE for 2. What are these draws, opponent? What are these draws while I'm sitting on subtlety? You're drawing that. Do they even play Thought Monitor, or do they cut that from their deck? They might have cut that from their deck. That is a vile draw. All right. Well, maybe now we're really lucky that they. If they don't move, do they have another fetchable? They probably do. If they don't move the Boots over, they're gonna move the Boots over. Okay, you win. You win. Better luck next time for us, I guess. I'm pretty low on Fatal Push in this matchup. Like, yeah, you do want to Fatal Push their You want to fatal push some of their constructs occasionally, but like generally you're pretty happy to have this guy's Clarion Conquer. And fatal pushing any one of their little random shitters is not that good. Thoughtseize I'm pretty happy with. If you can break, like, Thoughtseize them turn 1 and break apart their turn, that's really good. I messed around with Lavinia a little bit in this matchup, but I'm not really sold on it. It does deny a lot of stuff. Maybe I should be on it, but yeah, I probably should have Lavinia in the deck. Wow. Alright, I like this hand. I'll keep. Okay, keep. Can't get much better than this. I would love a Psychic Frog, maybe. Okay, here comes a big Pinnacle Emissary turn. Now, when I was in the Secret Lairs in Atlanta, I played against an Affinity opponent who twice, in 2 different matches, we got paired 2 different times. Both times, in Game 3, he played turn 1, Pinnacle Emissary, and then had Kappa Cannoneer after playing like Mox Opal and a bunch of nonsense like that. So hopefully that's not happening again. Yeah, we don't need this Flicker Wisp without any Overlords. Let's try to rat this guys. I mean, if they have the rebuke, they have the rebuke. This isn't even that good of a play, honestly. I mean, it's good. It's definitely good, but like, it was a 2-for-1. It was not a major blowout. Shows the strength of this Affinity deck. The fact that we're going to be able to follow up with Clarion Conquer is just super hateful, though. That should shut the door on them. Sometimes you're just due to draw Flicker Wisp, you know? And hey, I'll take a 3-1 beater here. Why not? Urza Saga's pretty good. Blood Moon is pretty good too. Are you serious? Should have fetched a basic there. I was not thinking Blood Moon. Wait, but this Saga is stuck on 1 now. Oh, we're fine. I think we're fine. Their Saga is stuck on 1. So it's their Pinnacle Emissary versus our Clarion Conqueror. Alright, they get a flyer. Wait, why did I have Fawn. Hold on. Let's be careful here. I could Fawn something. Well, none of this stuff really matters to Fawn, honestly. So what are our best draws here, honestly? With what, like a Failure would be really good. Oh, Swamp, okay. That actually does nothing for us right now, but hopefully it strikes fear into the opponent. I'm pretty scared here. I mean, they can cast all their stuff. And I think they're already close to just winning a race outright. I don't think I should Fawn Springleaf Drum because they don't, it's not like they need double blue here. mean, I have... Affinity. This deck can truly be broken sometimes. This deck can truly be broken. I don't even know what to do. I feel like we're just dead. If we draw, like, Overlord into Thalia, we might be alive. This Kappa is getting huge. Or to figure out how to deal with the Kappa. I think we are just legitimately dead. If we had a basic island, that could have done something, but not really enough in this spot. And our opponent's gonna beat us. Wrath the Skies, turn 3. Clarion Conqueror, turn 4. Sorry, Wrath the Skies, turn 2. Clarion Conqueror, turn 3. We lose against Affinity. That was pretty broken. Alright. Well, let's see if we can end on a strong note, bring home that 4-1. Again, thank you for so much for making it this far if you've watched in the video. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe, drop a comment down below letting me know that you appreciated this video. If you have any things to improve, let me know that as well. I always love the feedback. But yeah, this was that was a humbling match. That was a humbling match. I think this hand is fine. It doesn't have any way to blink, so I'm going to be looking to Surveil turn 1, looking for that Thalia or Flicker Wisp, but still a reasonably strong hand. I guess the awkward thing is, do we get Shadowy Backstreet? No, I think we have to get Meticulous Archive. Okay. I guess we top this. Is the plan to scam Riddler here? I think it might be. We'll just shock and play the Overlord. Basically, that Overlord was giving me some looks at Flicker Wisp. I guess Fatal pushing the Dragon Rage Channeler was also pretty good there. The problem is we couldn't really afford a Subtlety without another blue card. Okay, and they have Steel Cutter anyways. And we find the Flicker Wisp. Nice. That's huge. Next turn we can... Well, we can't scam the Riddler. I needed to shock there, maybe. Okay, we'll get a Specimen back. Gives us options to scam a Riddler. At a hefty price, but... It's pretty broken. Please play a creature that I can subtlety. Opponent. Thank you. Put Dragon Rage Channeler on the bottom. Makes sense. No attacks. Okay. I'm good with that. Oh, we milled our island. Ouch. Okay. Let's grab a subtlety. We're probably dead. To be fair. We really needed them to play a creature that we could subtlety. We do have a Fatal Push, but they mill Lightning Bolt. So they already have Lightning Bolt in hand is what that tells me. And they're looking for like Lava Dart or free spells. Iteration. They're looking for Mutagenic Growth. They're looking for Mishra's Bauble. Another Iteration. They gotta be careful here. They could die on the back swing. I don't think we're dead on board. Oh, they mill a Lava Dart off of DRC. Oh my god, that is broken. That is absolutely broken. And they find Bauble. Well, now we're dead. I can't believe that. What a play by our opponent. Alright, Emperor Bones is definitely not very good. Teferi we know is not the greatest. We can bring in some Wrath the Skies. Run it like that. I think something Pest Control could be good. I think Pest Control is probably the best card that we can add in here to help address Prowess while also still having Strength against Affinity, which just crushed us. So probably swapping out like one Clarion Conqueror and one Wrath for 2 Pest Control, or maybe even making room for 1 Pest Control main deck could be justified. Alright, I mean, I think having Phalia and Frog is a good reason to keep, and then this Wrath the Skies should help us. I'm trying to think about how we should sequence our lands to be... I think we need to Surveil turn 1. Then maybe we shock turn 2. well, there goes our second surveil, but we do not need that land at all. I guess now we can just use this fetch land and get a island and play the frog. Frog is a really big problem card for energy, or not energy, sorry, prowess. They do get Unholy Heat, but it's not active this early in the game, so a turn 2 frog is still going to give them trouble. If they try to like bolt, I'm willing to commit cards to deal with, to keep our frog in the game. Because they can just take over games. Oh, fetching the island there, though, was bad because now we don't have white for Wrath. That was a mistake. Definitely a mistake. And I would love to Wrath the Skies next turn, so I'm really disappointed with that play. Hopefully we find a white source. We did. Okay. Maybe discarding a specimen was fine there. Probably it was. Every point of damage matters, and we know that this frog is going to potentially get targeted by a removal spell at some point, and we're going to want to save it, so might as well get started early. Not to mention discarding the specimen guarantees our Overlord a hit next turn. Oh, we drew the Overlord off the frog, never mind. I think we'll do that next turn. I want to fail you this turn. Okay, we don't need another Overlord. We'll discard that. I mean, if we didn't have that Wrath the Skies, we would be absolutely cooked this game. They probably would have had Delirium last turn, tacked us down to 7, and then easily kill us this turn. Just shows that there is a need, if this Prowess deck is on the rise, to find more interaction. All right, if they're stuck on lands here, that's good for us. They're not stuck on lands. Okay, good. And by good, I mean bad. Okay, so let's do the math. Right now we're at 12. This hits us to 11. Then we take 7. It almost feels like we kind of have to block. Don't love that, but 5 down to 7, down to 6, 5, 4. Like, we lose to any spell here, basically, if we don't block. I'll cash in my gain 4 or whatever. All right. I'm not sure what the plan should be here. Part of me is thinking like we're trying to cast Hydroelectric Specimen and redirect something. And then block. No, I think that's not good enough. I think we need to like Riddler into Flicker Wisp plus land or something. Okay, Felia plus. That's pretty good. I think we need to ditch this. Cast the Felia. And then draw a blue card. Subtlety's great. Then we have him dead next turn. So we have the Fawn. We just have to hope it's good enough. Okay, they pick off our blocker. They could dart us also to get, yeah, we get another creature. So go to 9. Don't love this. Don't love this. Okay, lots of lands is good. At this point, I'm hoping they have lots of lands. Maybe they draw with Fiery Islet here. That's not a Fiery Islet draw, guys. That's not a Fiery Islet draw. Mandatory Force of Will. Alright, now their last 2 cards are not spells. No! Alright, so that league didn't end so well. But hey, we show the good and the bad. We get a 3-2. Okay, we get a 3-2. I think it showed a pretty clear problem with this deck list, which is decks that get to the board fast, and how do we plan on dealing with them? In my mind, Blue Black Frog actually had a similar problem, and Pest Control was a really good solution for energy, for Affinity, for Underworld Breach when that was a deck, and now for Prowess. So I'm going to be looking at adding at least 1 copy of Pest Control main deck and then another copy sideboard, which is going to help improve our Affinity matchup and improve our Prowess matchup as that deck is on the rise. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hit the like, hit the subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.